Infinity desktop portal of infinity, desktop portal of infinity, desktop portal of infinity loop. Stuck in a desktop portal of infinity loop. Please stand by, connecting to all live stream platforms directly from Streamlabs desktop version 1.16.17. Error code extra ones, ones. Starting page, go. DJZ not properly initiated. Reinitiating DJZ. DJZ not properly initiated. Reinitiating DJZ. iPad Pro. Initiate intro sequence. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and good night to you, friends. We got into the game as fast, as quick as possible, and holy moly, we got a quick invite to another match. Let's go! Okay. Try and fix this chat box over here. It's too small for that size. But this is like the good default. We'll fix it later. Let's go.
Hard point.
Let's go. Let's go, a little warm up. We're going to be firing up some Vanguard in a hot minute.
Hard point.
But as usual, it's the first stream of the day, so we're going to play a little Call of Duty Mobile something or another here.
Hard point locked down.
Get down, sniper!
UAV recon standing by. Repeat, UAV recon standing by.
Oh, brutal.
Hard point contested. Hard point contested. Hard point contested. UAV online. Hard point lost.
Enemy contact!
Hard point is ours.
Why isn't anybody trying to... Gosh darn.
Hard point contested. Hard point contested.
Reloading! Cover me!
Oh, there it was.
UAV recon ready for deployment. We've taken the lead.
Changing map,
Killer
cover
drone
me.
on standby.
Contact with enemy.
Hard point contested. Friendly drone ready. Hunter killer drone deployed. Hard point identified. Capture the objective. Hard point locked down. Hard point contested. Hostiles have the hard point.
EMP!
Hard point is ours.
Target inside!
UAV recon standing by. Repeat, UAV recon is standing by. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint contested. Hunter killer drone ready for
Changing map, cover me!
hardpoint contested. Hardpoint contested.
Back up!
We've taken the lead.
Sniper!
Oh, brutal.
Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint locked down. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint identified. Capture the objective.
Enemy contact!
Hardpoint is ours.
Sniper eliminated!
UAV recon ready for deployment.
New sniper! Ah! Get down! Sniper!
What?
Sniper down!
What?
Ah!
Tango down!
Dang it.
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down.
Target down.
Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint
Reloading!
contested.
Cover me! Tango down!
We've taken the lead. Hardpoint contested. UAV online.
Sniper eliminated!
Hardpoint contested.
Contact with
Hardpoint
enemy!
contested. Hardpoint identified.
Changing mag!
Hardpoint is ours. Hardpoint contested.
Reloading!
We've taken the lead. Hardpoint contested. Friendly drone in the air.
Cover me.
Targets in sight!
Keep back up.
Keep on them. We're winning this one.
Enemy down!
Hunter killer drone on standby. Hardpoint contested. Friendly hunter killer drone deployed. Friendly drone ready.
Get down! Sniper! Reloading! Cover me!
Hardpoint contested. UAV recon is standing by. Repeat, UAV recon is standing by.
Sniper.
Kapow!
Reloading!
That's a nice little That's a nice little I like that stabbing machine.
Enemy in sight.
Super nice. How have I never used
Target's
this
in
before?
sight.
This is a nice little combo.
Changing map!
Mission accomplished. Good work.
3.4. Everybody gets a blue thumbs up from me. Everybody. Why didn't it take? Let's go. Sweet. Sweet new battery, which we are now finally learning the series backstory of. One of my favoriteest characters from the very beginning of playing Call of Duty Mobile, and I'll show you the original battery that I was like, oh yes, I love that. I don't like that guy. I don't think I'm like that guy. I think I'd rather get like 10 tickets. I'd rather get the tickets from that character. That character's gross. I don't want it. Okay, loadouts. This is a new favorite. Love it. Where are we gonna fit? Okay, welcome, friends. There we go. Turn that down a little bit so you can hear me better without me having to yell. That's what happens. I end up yelling a lot. We're gonna find a spot. Let's put batter. I like Seraph Gold Deco here though. These two look like they're the same character. Adler. Robot guy, I love you. Oh my gosh, who do we replace? Sorry, Scarlet Rolls. Although you're perfect for Halloween. Battery. We have Evil Robot Battery, which is kind of fun when, especially if you don't see them around and they're kind of scary looking. Then we have Battery Arctic, which I think is the first one, and I didn't like her because I don't like the makeup and I didn't know anything about her. I didn't know she's half like bio amputee cyborg robot lady, but I didn't know that, right? This is the one we just got, which is some sort of like new whatever, but we got the, was it this one? Did they change her? She used to be more pink. Battery Shuttle. And I just sort of loved her. Why is she wearing a backpack? No. Customize. Unequip. Yes. I like my characters with no backpack. Even though we've gotten some cool backpacks, I prefer them all free of the burden. No backpack. No backpack. This one, I put a backpack on because default, no backpack. She's got a giant backpack, I think. Like, you can't get away with it. You know, she's got a backpack. Although maybe I'm crazy. I just put this on because I like it. Let's see what happens when we customize and unequip. Does she default out to no back? She's got that thing, the radio box. She's got a not a backpack, but a radio, and that's like default. Doesn't go away. That's why. That's the only one that I put a backpack on. Is this one, and I put the anime kitty on because it looks cuter. It looks perfect on her, although the straps look floaty, weird, big, but whatever. It's better than inside her arms or inside her shoulders. And it's apropos. It fits her roller skater thing better than that jukebox, that giant, and I love the giant thing. But that giant thing is such a huge hit marker. It's just like, look at me, come and shoot me. Not that the little pinky thing isn't, but that giant yellow thing is insane. Anyways, otherwise, no backpack. Especially no backpack. She's got this cool cape thing. Okay, so battery, shuttle, pink. She used to be pinker, I swear. They changed her outfit. They like nerfed her pink. She's now like a lavender. She used to be way more pink. Or am I tripping, or is there another battery? We just haven't... No, battery shuttle. Is she hiding somewhere else? No, the only place there would ever be a battery character would be here. Anyways, swear it used to look pinker. And I loved it because it was the first girly girl. Ishikara is one of my favorites. I love her in this. I love her hairdo here. And I kind of love this crazy outrage outfit. But I also love her because she's like generic. And I like had to collect this one to unlock this. Super basic, super like no filter, no makeup, no hairdo. You know, just like, I'm a Sunday afternoon grunt. Let's go. Anyways, I nerded out about Call of Duty Mobile after first having discovered, let me share with you. Hold on, let's check what's going on with updates. Hello, friends, and welcome to the madness. We are, is it any of the ones we're about to look at? No, never mind. Please stand by. I very first got my iPad and started doing artsy-fartsy things with it, which were meant to go on the live stream, and we've yet to really feature the artsy-fartsy stuff. Which sucks, because I just get burnt out, and then I don't do it, and then I do a lot of other things. I need my glasses. Don't pick them up by the lens. Jeez Louise, I'm such a mess today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I have no idea. If it could be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it could be 4 o'clock in the morning. It's really easy to confuse 4:20 a.m. for 4:20 p.m. in my studio, because everything is light blocked, and it's like we live in Las Vegas in here. I'm nowhere near Vegas. Okay. Mech Arena. And then I was looking for other games, and I found Freeblade, but I couldn't get past the second stage because of a glitch. I think they fixed it, but now it uninstalled itself because I'm lazy. But then I got Super Mecha Champions because I was looking at games in the vicinity of Mech Arena, and I was like, ooh, that's fun. And it was these two games that got me started, and then I started a crazy collection, and now we are... that led to the Call of Duty, like... Wait a minute, I missed out on Call of Duty my entire life. Let's go play it. We're going to play a couple rounds, but first we're going to launch the... I should have just labeled this Call of Duty Mobile instead of Call of Duty Vanguard. Because I always start off with like an hour of the other thing. I'm like, you know what? No, we're going to double check on the clicky things, but we're going to fire up the Xbox because we're going to move to Vanguard. Play 7 ranked MP matches. We have. How come it didn't count? We played a bunch yesterday and it didn't track. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, friends. Let me know if the music is too loud, not loud enough. What was I doing? I was checking characters. Is there any other super cool, fun, rare characters that I really love that I don't use and that I should use? What's her name in purple? Probably. Any of the other cool... I've got a couple of other cool purple characters that I should rock. Special Ops 1 is the most fun and generic. Because everyone assumes it's a bot. I should sometimes run that. Tengu in this color is cool. Firebreak. Just like that character we had just unlocked. It's fun to, like, now that we're digging into some of the other into some of the other backstories of characters. Like, it's really fun and funny to see, like, Battery. Like, we just saw Battery and some really, like, gory, intense backstory for her from Black Ops 4 in an episode ago when we played through that. So that was wild and fun. We got her black rail there. Yeah, that's fine. When we play Cold War, we're going to see a bunch of Adler. And I think I strongly suspect we'll see a bunch of Adler in Black Ops 6. So I don't know where this robot is from, but it might be one of the advanced 6. And then, of course, this is my creme de la creme, my crowning jewel, my favorite. The only one I've really ever... Well, these are the two that I dropped cash money on when my first 6 months of playing Call of Duty Mobile, like 4 years ago. Because I had to, because I knew that if I didn't get it, I would long for it, miss it, and see everyone else play it and be upset. But it's only because I'm a huge Black Ops 6 fan. No, sorry, because I'm a huge, I can't believe I'm a huge fan. I forgot its name. Ghost in the Shell fan. And there was a Call of Duty style / anime cell shaded / not cell shaded. Just look, it was right before cell shading came out, but it was just perfect. First person shooter game that I wanted to play the shit out of, and then I lost the laptop and the disc, and just, it was like, it ran perfectly on this one laptop, and it was like a bargain bin game when I got it. So it was already old. And then instead of preserving that laptop and that game specifically just to play that game, it just all got, moving, and life happened, and then suddenly I was like, I don't know what happened to that game. I don't know where it is, and I don't know what it was called, and I can't find it anymore. And I don't have the box, or I don't have the CD cover. That's why you keep boxes and covers. Because of shit like this. I should be acting at the camera. Anyways, that game was totally, and I don't know, and I mean this sincerely, and I don't mean any infringements, somebody somewhere was a huge fan of Ghost in the Shell and wanted to do an official Ghost in the Shell first-person shooter. It was very much like either inspired, like heavily also inspired by some Call of Duty, or a precursor and an inspiration to some Call of Duty, but it got the onboarding and the training and the tutorial stuff just right, which reminds me of some of this Black Ops tutorial from Black Ops 4. And it felt like part of the game world, and you got lots of the characters, and there was cutscenes, but it wasn't too long, and it was great. And it was all of this, but they'd somehow not procured the rights, or not been, something happened that they had to not use Ghost in the Shell and Major Montico and Batu. They couldn't use any of the names, but you could totally tell it was obviously supposed to be that game. And I don't know what happened to it, and I'm so sad. And if anyone knows what I'm talking about, and knows where, if it's got ported to Xbox magically, that'd be so cool. And or when is Call of Duty? They've already got the relationship clearly, right? They did this before. When is Call of Duty Activision? Hire me, and I will be the Vision Chief Executive Officer, Vision Guidance, for the completely immersive. It'll compete with Cyber Punk, because it'll also be Call of Duty. It'll be Call of Duty, Ghost in the Shell. Perfect merger. Oh my god, that could even be the name. right? And we can come up with a great storyline wherein which the Ghost, everything Call of Duty just slams into everything Ghost in the Shell in a way that makes perfect sense because it's all a simulation within a simulation within a simulation. You know, and we'll borrow a little bit from Assassin's Creed and we'll go. That would be so cool. I'm serious. Don't nobody steal it from me. If somebody's out there like, that's a great idea and I bet I could code it, hire me already. Even if it's for until someone pays us situation, I'm down. Just don't screw me over. I want to make that happen. It's part of the vision. I need to bookmark this, pin on the corkboard. This is all going into the book series, which is why I promote the book series. And I want to get whatever little paltry small bit of real audience from here to cross over there, and whatever audience from over there to cross over here. Clip that, Eclipse. World building, Call of Duty, Ghost in the Shell crossover epic game idea. Can you imagine? Built on the engine that is built Modern Warfare 2, 3, and Black Ops 6? Imagine if it was like the 2 games away, like 2 years away. They hired me now, however many, we would take 5 years to develop, probably 4 years. But oh, it would be such a great game. Take anything and everything that we could innovate into it, roundtable, purge the stuff that would break it, and integrate it so that it becomes the new platform that reverse engineers, integrates all Call of Duty games ever into this universe. Because it's super sci-fi, futuristic, war sim emulation. Not simulation, emulation, but, in a cybernetic brain. Sort of like some of the stuff that happens in some of the episodes of some of the different series of Ghost in the Shell, the TV show. But it would be like Next Gen, where they're like reliving all the past, including all the wars that happen in the Call of Duty history, as if they were real wars, but we're re-sim training through them. And then the point being, we're living in a world in the future that is like post Cyberpunk 2027. We'll buy that IP and integrate it. If they're gonna diss it, we'll buy that IP, especially if they're gonna abandon it and integrate it, and merge those 3 worlds together. In a world where this military, this milsim emulation substitute product has replaced actual kinetic engagement in the real world. Nobody goes pew-pew about anything because we all deep dive into multiple tiers of time dilation, right? So you can do 20 years worth of gaming in 20 minutes. Each minute lasts a year. And you would literally have a year for a minute's worth of real world time because you'd crunched it down, you'd time dilated it. And for a year, you could play 20 years worth of Call of Duty all year long every season. Deep dive, 24 hours a day. Never have to worry about eating or pooping or whatever because it's all a simulation. But you make it either like you're playing it on the Xbox, or you make it like you're living it as the avatar. Whichever one. You can do both at the same time. Because it's macro sim. Your brain is just experiencing whatever the computer wants it to. Right? And then you step out and it's only been 20 minutes of whatever tier. Let's say you're at tier 4, where it's already 4x compressed. And then you do the gaming where you do the 20 minutes for 1 hour. See what I'm saying? And then you go boop, boop, boop. When you get back to reality, all of that, which felt like 5 lifetimes, only took an hour. And you come back and you're like, oh, that's done. And then you sit in reality and you just touch the grass and you look at the sky and you wonder, what if this is also some compressed time reality and I just don't realize it yet because I'm too deep into dive. Whatevs. Let's go some more gameplay, and solve world problems by pew-pewing each other in a simulated but hyper-realistic and painful video game reality where you could be any character from any universe, where it's like in my fan fiction universe, the Zeppoverse, that's what happens. In some dystopian future where we're like, you know what? Well, we already devoured all life on every livable planet, and we're all embedded brain chips anyways. There is no grass to touch, but we're trying to sell ourselves the lie that we didn't do that yet by diving so deep into so many leveraged where you think you know where you're at, but the mindfuckery is that no matter how many tears, no matter how many times you play Neo and rebel the robots and liberate yourself from the Matrix, you're still just a brain in a jar because you don't have a body, because you evolved to that 1,000 years ago and turned into the evil empire that devoured every planet and every plant and every rock and all planets are just a computing node devouring what's left of the planet millimeter by millimeter until there's just the rock core, and it'll devour that. And then every planet that has ever been in the real universe is a node of your species metacomputer planet eating network device that supports distributed networking. And some of you live there, but some of you, don't, and whatever. It doesn't matter because you never know where you are. It's all one unified field of holographic simulation. And we're so many layers deep that it doesn't matter how many epiphanies you have. That's the rock bottom. The real reality is that you wake up and you're like, oh, do you guys remember that scene? Okay, wait, pause. Is DJ Zed, play the DJ Zed music, because this is totally... Clip that! Don't steal my ideas. This is the world-building brain dump for today's chunk of episode, because it comes at me right before we start playing, or as you play. Okay, so the Zeppoverse is a fan fiction emulation, like world-building experiment of like, can I build a world that somehow has something in it that nods everything I love about everything? And in a way, this is, you know how Neo has the moment where he wakes up and he takes the plugs out and the gross, everyone had some level of, thank God that never has to happen to me, because we don't live in that, and I don't have to wake up to that and actually have to yank some feeding tube out of the inside of my gullet because that would hurt and be gross, or any other orifice, right? Or any other implanted jack. That's not really happening because we don't live there. But imagine with me, if you will, in the theater of your mind, a world in which no matter how many layers you peel away, ultimately you and I and everyone else has always been a cyberized brain in a jar, in which we would always, right before we get to that, like, and brain in a jar, like in that Steve Martin movie, and or any Frankenstein movie where there's been a brain in a jar, level brain in a jar, or like Futurama level brain in a jar, not the head in the jar. You'd be lucky to have a head in a jar with a mouth and eyeballs, and you could eat fishy foods. Somehow that world, that ecosystem works, and your flesh isn't right off. Forget that. Just an actual human part cyborg, because it's got chips and stuff already grown, like nano living tissue integration interface. In a living bio-environmental ampule that's not a jar, because that'd be gross and unsanitary. It's a completely hermetically sealed and integrated womb that keeps your brain alive in a very... and right before anyone who does realize it in the Zeppoverse world has a moment that is peeling away the onions, references to many movie references and many satirical references to the real world, books about awakening, and any like Buddhist experiences about awakening, and any Zen thing about awakening. But the penultimate one, literally, to use that word correctly, as many times we often do not, my friends. The penultimate one is an homage to one of the most body horror, visceral, yet gore-free, and truly claustrophobic, truly emotionally amazeballs and impactful moments from one of the most underrated but one of the best robot cyborg relation movies that's a remake. I know it's an unbelievable combo platter, but the remake of RoboCop. The original RoboCop, I need to go back and rewatch them as an adult, because there's 3 stages of adulthood. The first time you start calling yourself an adult, when you're not. Shh, no one stops to tell you. But at like 15 or whatever, I'm an effing adult. At 19, I'm an effing adult. At 20, I'm an effing adult. At 21, I'm an effing adult. At 25, you're not an adult yet. In fact, there's no hard limit. There's no state-imposed sanction line. It's just when you've just screwed yourself enough to be like, oh, shit. And if you haven't done that yet, maybe you're not quite an adult. But then there's multiple stages of adulting that you graduate through that are success and failure based. And you become an adult, like a complete adult, when either you've succeeded really hard or you've failed really hard. Both paths are valid. Talk to Alan Watts if you don't believe me. Multiple pins on the corkboard. One of the most underrated robot movies. One of the most underrated remake movies. One of the most underrated, like, we're going to completely reimagine a classic that was pretty dope. Although I'd have to rewatch it again. I think it was really dope. I think it slapped really hard from its original dystopian political messaging. But also it was like crazy carnage. But not so much the claustrophobia. Is the remake of RoboCop. And that scene where what's his name? Who, like, you gotta hand it to him. He acted the shit out of all the weird special effects green screen crap in your way. It's such a way, and he's one of those underrated actors. I think I'd seen him in some other thing that I didn't like, not because of him necessarily, I just didn't like it. I don't remember what it was, not it. I saw him in some other project, didn't like him. Can't remember his name right now, but the guy who is the police officer in RoboCop, in the new remake. That body disassembly scene, when he forces the doctor's hand, and he's mad, and he doesn't really know what's going on, and you're not really sure what the F, and you sort of think you know how messed up he is, because you think you know, but you don't. And slowly but surely, it just reveals what little of him, the person. And it's so like, if you have a working imagination and a theater and the kind of empathic body that's like, if you see a really nasty injury somewhere in a movie, you feel an imaginary fake pain somewhere too, or it grosses you out. That sequence is so brilliantly gross and amazing and good and brutal. And that carries the whole movie, because it leaves you with so many deeper thoughts about, like, where do you draw the line, and if it's comfortable and satisfying and empowering, why wouldn't you become a brain in a computing box? The way they very deeply explore, in a very similar way that was not as tangibly grotesque, because it was animated in Ghost in the Shell. Sidebar, pin on the corkboard, we've talked about it before, we're going to talk about it again. The supposedly messed up, not as good American, which it wasn't, not really. I mean, it was produced here in America, but also with not Angelina Jolie, not Jessica Hansen, what's his name's wife? Black Widow. Anybody who tried to troll and or like trash talk that movie didn't know what they were talking about. That movie beautifully integrated and represented in a way that would have made, and I think did, the original directors and producers of Ghost in the Shell, the original film, the reboots of the original film, the sequels to the original film, and the television shows, first series, second series, and third series, and on the new ones, which I haven't even watched those yet, which are not that new anymore because they've been around for a hot minute already. And it was awesome. And she's great at it. And for all their blah, 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 she was not culturally appropriating nothing. She was not taking roles away from anybody. That's what her character, and that's what all the other characters basically look like in the anime. Nobody did any research and then sounded off. Nobody watched the original. She's a robot. She's a brain in a brain case in a robot. And whatever her backstory, they honored that, you know, the fact that she was actually a young, local Asian woman that was, you know, conspiratorially blah, blah, blah. Okay. Imagine a world in which it's like that, but there's layers and layers of protection. You're not running around in the robot. You're in a womb embryo. Forget the body. There's no body. There's no skull. There's just the brain with the integrated living nanotechnology interface and the womb sac that protects it. And then the outer like egg-like protective pod shell that protects it. And then the full like transport, like vibranium, bulletproof, whatever, explosion proof, deep space travel proof. It is what gets moved around. Outer like this is where you interface with ships and with the computing blocks and with the machines that are eating all the planets, depending on your job and your role. Each brain is inside one of those, and you either are somewhere alone by yourself in a brain case on a moon, slowly eating up the minerals and stuff on that moon for the nanotechnology to convert into fuel to process your pod, plus add energy to the matrix and add whatever computing power to the matrix. And or you're in a colony devouring a super gas giant, or you're in a colony devouring an Earth-sized planet or a super-sized Earth. You get it? And we live in that world where we're already there. And we're so used to, this is Zeppoverse, so it's all my book series ideas. Don't steal this idea, but collaborate with me. Come over to Wattpad and play along as we do that. Okay, programming note. Multiple ideas and thoughts, friends. We're going to be back to play a little bit more. I branded this as supposedly a Vanguard moment, but we spiraled out of control to a world building thing. So on Twitch, I'm going to rewrite that and rebrand it so that if I run it through Eclipse, it'll have the correct title and stuff, and I can pull clips about me rambling about stuff. So when you read the book series, a really great place to start is in the short story collection with the typewriter cover about the world before everything, and start with the little short stories about the office that is in hell. And that's like hard to understand, but it's an analogy for where some of the minds who are allowed to, in part of the whole network structure of, every mind is in one of these things. And then also hallucinating that they've got a body and they're living in a world where their body is real, and they're choosing to get into one of these things so that they can operate a robot and go into the real world and be safer as a robot. Sort of like that Bruce Willis movie where everyone chooses to be a robot puppeteer as a way of protecting your body to extreme cases. But that's all a hallucination. And it's like part of the deceit that they play on themselves, where they think that they're in these beautiful planets, but no matter what planet they think they are, no matter what controversial history they think they're working through. Imagine living on Earth and you think all these horrible things are happening here on Earth, but in reality, we're already centuries just brains in a jar. And we are the Matrix. Where no one evil did this to ourselves. We were born in a thing we engineered so that we could spread to every planet, but except we never exited to touch the grass. We simulated it and then devoured all the trees and the grass and the waters and the mountains and the animals and the insects, and we're now just digging our way through the topsoil to get into, the multiple miles to the core. And every planet is like that. Just there's still a little bit of atmosphere, but we're going to devour that too. And so almost all planets will be atmosphere-free spheroids of perfectly shaven pool cues that we're just... And then until there's not enough room for the machines, and then they got to send the machines off, and they're going to look for other planets. But there are none. That's the meta global setting for my book series on Wattpad. Even though none of the Wattpad characters know it yet, and none of the chapters in the book series acknowledge that yet, I'm telling you as a way to hook you and get you to go read it and drop your comments and start talking about it in relationship to that meta narrative to help me sort of introduce it, because your comments are part of the book. Come on down to wattpad.com/user/Mr. Zeppo. It should find me. If you can't find me, just go to Wattpad, create your own profile, and then search for Mr. Zeppo. I have multiple profiles, and I need to reactivate them all and then get engaged in my little project of publishing books on different profiles. But I lost my logins. What other ideas are there? Clip that. So many more ideas, friends. But we ran out of music, so we're going to take a break and make some tea because we're almost out of coffee. And then we're going to really play some Vanguard. But this has been an improv, hiccups and burps at the same time, and I must fight them with my programming. I am a robot. Sent here to warn you, that your species is on the brink of doing exactly what I prophesized the human species had already done in my book series. You have been warned. I am a robot. I must now take a breakfast break. We'll be back in just a bit, friends, after a brief break so that I must ingest nanotechnology fuel packets. Please join me at solo.do/Mr. Zeppo. Error code, out of dialogue, script ended. Searching for next script. Please stand by. This robot is having a malfunction. Enjoy this other robot's digital robot rock music and dance like a robot, as if you did not know you were a robot. You are a robot.